You ever have one of those days where you wake up after what felt like a full night's sleep and you just feel like you could crawl right back into bed? That feeling of being totally drained, like your personal battery is always stuck at 10%? Yeah, well, you are definitely not alone. So let's dive in together and see if we can crack the case of constant exhaustion.
This is the big one, right? The question that can mess with everything, your work, your family, your social life. And you'd think it would be a simple problem with a simple solution, but the answer, well, it's usually a pretty complex mystery we need to solve. So what's really going on?
Okay, first things first. We got to be clear on what we're actually talking about. Are you just sleepy or are you truly fatigued? Because they are not the same thing. Sleepiness is pretty straightforward. You pulled an all-nighter, you're drowsy, and a good nap will probably fix it. But fatigue, oh, that is a whole different beast. It's that deep, relentless exhaustion that sleep just doesn't seem to cure. It's less of a feeling and more of a clue that something else is going on.
And this is a huge problem. I mean, get this. As many as 1 in 3 Americans don't get the recommended 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. That is a massive number of people, and it totally sets the stage for widespread fatigue. It turns what feels like a personal problem into a major public health issue.
So, to really get a handle on this, we've got to go deeper than just feeling tired. Let's peel back the layers and really investigate what fatigue actually is.
Well, it's really helpful to think of fatigue in 2 main types. First, you've got physical fatigue. That's when your muscles just feel weak, and climbing a flight of stairs can honestly feel like running a marathon. Then there's mental fatigue, where your brain feels like it's wading through mud, making it super hard to concentrate or focus. And here's the real kicker. They almost always show up together. Being physically drained for a long time will absolutely lead to that frustrating mental fog.
All right, detectives, it's time to line up the usual suspects. If fatigue is the crime scene, we need to figure out who the potential culprits are. Let's get this investigation started.
So this doesn't get too overwhelming. We can pretty much group all the causes into 3 main buckets. First, you've got lifestyle factors, our daily habits. Second, you've got potential medical conditions. And third, there's our mental and emotional well-being. Chances are the answer to your fatigue is hiding in one or maybe even a combination of these categories.
Let's kick things off with lifestyle. This is all about the choices we're making every single day. We're talking about things like a diet that's full of processed junk, not getting enough exercise, or even getting too much without enough rest. And what about that glass of wine at night? Sure, it might make you feel sleepy, but alcohol actually disrupts your deep sleep later on, which just traps you in a vicious cycle of waking up tired.
Next up, the medical culprits. Sometimes fatigue is like your body's check engine light. It's a classic symptom for a whole bunch of conditions. Things like anemia, where you don't have enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen, or thyroid problems that totally mess with your body's energy use. Even things like heart conditions, chronic pain, or lingering infections can be major energy vampires.
And we absolutely cannot talk about energy without talking about what's going on in our heads. The mind-body connection is so real. Depression, anxiety, and just plain old chronic stress are notorious for causing this profound, heavy fatigue. It's also worth checking your medicine cabinet because some common medications, like certain antidepressants or even basic allergy pills, can have fatigue as a side effect.
Okay, so with this huge list of potential causes, how in the world do you and your doctor actually figure out what's going on? Well, this is where the real detective work begins, and you are the star witness.
Yep, your doctor's investigation starts with you. They need your intel. What are the patterns? Does the fatigue hit you like a truck every afternoon? Does the nap help at all? How have you been feeling emotionally? These personal details are the most important clues you can provide to help solve the mystery.
The process isn't just guesswork. It's actually pretty logical. First, your doctor's going to ask a ton of very specific questions about your energy levels and your sleep. Then comes a physical exam. After that, they'll review all your lifestyle habits and any medications you're taking. And finally, if they're still searching for answers, they might order some diagnostic tests, like blood work or maybe even a sleep study.
And hey, here is a pro tip, something you can start doing tonight to help crack your own case. Keep a sleep diary. No, seriously, just taking a minute to jot down when you go to bed, when you wake up, and how many times you were up during the night, that provides priceless data. It turns that vague, "I feel tired" complaint into cold, hard evidence your doctor can actually work with.
Okay, so once you have a few clues about the cause, it's time to take action. It's time to fight back. Let's talk about building your own personal energy toolkit. The first and most important tool in your kit, the absolute foundation, is good sleep hygiene.
The do's are simple, but they are so powerful. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day. And yes, that includes weekends. I know, it's tough, but it is a game changer. The don'ts are just as critical. You've got to put down those screens at least an hour before bed. That blue light really does a number on your brain's ability to produce sleep hormones.
Next tool, your diet. Food is literally fuel, right? But the kind of fuel you put in your tank makes all the difference. Instead of huge, heavy meals that make you sleepy, try eating smaller, more frequent meals. That helps keep your blood sugar stable and avoids those dramatic energy spikes and crashes. And that afternoon cup of coffee, try to make it a rule to cut off caffeine after 2 or 3 p.m. so it's not still buzzing in your system when you're trying to wind down.
And here's another really cool tool. A recent study from 2024 found that mindful exercises, we're talking about things like yoga, tai chi, and qigong, can seriously help reduce fatigue, especially for people dealing with chronic conditions. It's not about a grueling workout. It's about gentle activity that connects your mind and your body, which is just fantastic for reducing stress and boosting your energy levels.
Now, before we wrap this up, I need to get serious for a minute. We have to talk about one situation where fatigue goes from being just an inconvenience to being a straight-up life-or-death matter. Let this number sink in for a second. An estimated 20%, that's 1/5, of all motor vehicle accidents are linked to driver fatigue. That is a staggering and totally preventable statistic. Being severely tired behind the wheel can be every bit as dangerous as driving drunk.
The most important thing here is to know the warning signs. If you find yourself yawning over and over, if you can't remember the last few miles you drove, or you catch yourself drifting out of your lane, your body is screaming at you. The only right answer, the only safe answer, is to pull over and rest. It could save your life or someone else's.
So, we've laid out the clues, we've identified the suspects, and we've started building your toolkit. The mystery of your fatigue is solvable, and you are the lead detective on the case. So my question to you is, what's the first step you're going to take to solve your fatigue mystery and start getting your energy back?